So, Lynette Fontaine is an artist who was not able to join us in person this evening, but prepared this for us to learn more about her work. So this will be the last presentation of the evening.
Dansa Kiawau. Sartlip Egwa Wasanich Ochinia Anoch. Lynette LaFontaine Tsigasan. Egwa Moskwa Mostus Kisagovasku Tsigasan. Hi everybody, how are you? Calling in from Sartlip in Wasanich territory on on Vancouver Island in the Greater Victoria area. And my French name given to me at birth is Lynette LaFontaine, and my spirit roughly translates as Bear Buffalo Northern Lights Woman. Dastawinuaknia, I'm two spirit, identify as non-binary, and my pronouns are they, them. Egwa Apitaukosasania, so I'm Métis for my late dad, Richard LaFontaine. He was born in Big River. And my mom is of French and Irish ancestry. My son is 23 and my daughter is 21. And they are living on their own, trying their best in their flailing 20s. And I'm a nurse by trade, and I'm currently a full-time artist. Next slide, please. I wanted to show a photo of my late dad, Rick. Here he is at 23 years old. At his wedding, my parents' wedding, dancing with his mom, Nokam Caroline LaFontaine, who was born at Pruden. So as I said, my dad was born in Big River, and when he was little, I've heard 2 years old, his family moved to BC to work in the forest industry. So my dad was a logger his whole life until he died at age 58. And my parents met at a bush camp when they were teenagers. I was born and raised in Burns Lake, raised in Fraser Lake, and lived in central BC up until 2019 until I moved here with my partner Leah on Vancouver Island. Before that, I guess I want to share that before Big River, my grandma Line's family came from Green Lake. So her parents are Joseph Pruden and Elmire Morin. And then Elmire's mom was Philomene Morasti. And so before Green Lake, my family was at Ile La Crosse, and we come from the lineage of Antoine Morin and Pelagie Boucher, specifically the Zephyrin lineage, related to the Roys, Cardinal, Desjardins, La Liberty, Lavallée, Duroche, like so many on our family branches. So hello, cousins. And I wanted to share a bit around my art journey and process, and then just get right into the piece that I want to talk about today. So I taught myself to bead in 2007, loved it a lot, and learned tips and tricks along the way. And then it was introduced to me to do mentorships, which I really connected with. I didn't want to go back to school after doing a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and raising my kids and still paying for student loans. So mentorships felt really accessible to me. And the First Peoples Cultural Council here in BC is really accessible to get funding for mentorship. So in 2016, I approached Lisa Shepherd, and she agreed to help me improve my beading and how to make pucker toe moccasins. So if we could go to the next slide. Here's an example of a pair I made in 2018 for a dear friend. And I make a lot of my own designs, either just like dreaming them up, looking at old ancestor work. And next slide, please. Just wanted to show another example of a current pair of moccasins that I made. And so that went really well. So whatever I learn, I in turn share knowledge with other. I was taught that knowledge is nothing if we don't share it. So the Prince George Métis Elders, which is a whole group, in 2017, we held a moccasin making workshop in a camp over 2 weekends during different seasons, and I just wanted to keep learning. I really have the goal to learn all our Métis art forms, and it takes many years to do that. So I'm dedicating my life to picking up this knowledge and sharing with others. It feeds my body, mind, and spirit, and I believe it's really important culturally to do this. Next slide, please. Kim Stewart is my hide tanning mentor. So here I am at a hide tanning camp that was funded to learn with Kim in 2019. Next slide, please. Kim is also my hair tufting mentor, and just an example of a pair of earrings to honor the mountain huckleberry. And this is reindeer hair. Next slide, please. I also, in 2020, learned how to use whitefish scales from Jamie Morse. Next slide, please. And also Erin Consimo, who's another mentee of Jamie's. So the piece I wanted to talk to today, I have 3 pieces in this exhibition. I have Grandmother's Love from Long Ago, which is a wall hanging and shows all the materials that I work with so far. So it's a mixed media piece, as well as a tea cozy that I've recently made. I hope we're on the next slide. So this is an ancestor bag that I was introduced to in 2020 at the Beading Symposium in Winnipeg. And this is from the Manitoba Museum. So I just want to thank Tara Hogue for offering to get this loaned. So, and I made a mask in speaking to this ancestor bag. So it's really interesting in terms of the hide work. And then of course there's that beautiful embroidery. But the piece that, the detail on this bag that really drew my attention is this embroidered statement, "Fire back." And many of us were just blown away to see this on an ancestor bag. First of all, what does that mean? So we're in the era of land back. We're in an era, some people would say, of a renaissance, of reclaiming, you know, and feeling more proud of who we are. So to me, I've just been contemplating this. It just sat with me. Fire back feels very culturally and spiritually significant. To me, it embodies everything: language, art, our connection to the land, our connection to our ancestors, our connection to ceremonies. Next slide, please. So I wanted to just share how I started to incorporate fire back into some of my work. And here is the first mask I made, part of the Breathe exhibition, led by Lisa Shepard and Natalie Burton. So it's currently on tour. This mask, I'm not going to speak a lot to it, is around privilege. And as a nurse who was working on the street in 2020, I really saw this increase of disparity, like the inequities that exist. They just got really highlighted during the pandemic. And next slide, please. So I beaded the words Otapemsawak across the bottom, and then in the fringe is the words "Fire back." Next slide, please. Just wanted to show a close-up of the side beading. Next slide, please. So here is Two-Spirit Regalia. So in 2021, another exhibition titled On Beaded Ground here in Victoria at the UVic Legacy Gallery. I had the opportunity to participate, and this is, the tunic is beaded by Nicole Mandrick, one of my mentees, and her partner, Margaret August, who is Coast Salish. And they were imagining a Two-Spirit Regalia. So often we sit outside the binary. Next slide, please. And I asked if I could make a mask because this image of a Two-Spirit mask came to me with fire back on it. So these have the colors as taught by the late Sharon Prue Turner, that the Two-Spirit colors are violet, red, yellow, two-tone blue. And this photo here shows the moccasins that I also made to go with the regalia. So there's the Two-Spirit colors and the beaded edging, and I also hand-painted fringe. Next slide, please. It's just another view of the mask. I wanted to make the ribbon really, really long, but I didn't want to cover up that tunic. Next slide, please. Just a better close-up of the moccasins. Next slide, please. So here it shows that I used some grandmother cloth to make the mask, and then put those beautiful ribbons in the Two-Spirit colors, and then beaded that statement, "Fire back." I really wanted to honor who we are as Two-Spirit people, as well as my own personal journey around being Otepemswak, being, you know, the boss of myself, being part of the free people, and all that work we're doing as Two-Spirit people to take our place in the circle. Next slide, please. I know I'm at 10 minutes, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for that abscess, that tiny little bit about sharing of my art practice. Exe.